My brain has become infected by an insidious threat. I had fought it for years, but it was relentless, just biding its time. The menace grew stronger over the years, branched out, mutated, evolved. I'm talking, of course, about video games. As a mom of two boys, I'd fought video games for nearly 2 decades. They invaded family time, reading time, homework time, sleeping time, time for boredom that leads to imaginative play. But the boys are grown men now, and I've become infected myself. My kids are grown now, so the pervasive threat against my family's time and my children's developing attention spans had passed. So I guess I let my guard down. I became obsessed with a video game. My husband started playing The Last of Us a few years ago. He's a devoted gamer as well, and he raved and raved about the game's graphics and storytelling. I watched him play a few times, but I only tried a scene or two on my own from part 1 of the game. My husband and kids marvel at how utterly bad I am at video games. But the controller is so complicated, and monsters jump out from nowhere and scare me. Nevertheless, I was interested enough in the story to watch the HBO series. I fell in love with Joel and Ellie, two broken people hanging on to scraps of humanity and learning to lean on each other in a post-apocalyptic world. It's been a really steep learning curve trying to play the game. I'm about 3/4 of the way through part 2, and I can't wait to see how the HBO series handles the story for part 2. I'll just talk about the beginning of the series though, to avoid spoilers. If you've been living under a rock, or like the old me, you ignore any info related to video games, The Last of Us is set in a post-apocalyptic world and centers on a man and teenage girl trying to make it across the destroyed United States, fighting zombie-like people who've been infected by a fungus, while also fighting various factions of humans, fascist governmental agencies, raiders, rebels, and cultists. I play on easy mode, and now that I've gotten a couple of weeks of experience, I can at least recognize how easy mode is. The monsters usually wait patiently for me to kill one of them off before the next one attacks. I spent much of my time during my first week getting stuck into corners or circling around to the right and getting lost while I was trying to run away. I love jumping on things though, and shivving clickers. Getting lost through endless bombed out buildings, sewers, and warehouses though is still one of my biggest weaknesses. I'm amazed by how much I physically react to the game. I got severely clammy palms while trying to navigate heights as a character who is scared of heights. I've screamed out loud at the sudden appearance of monsters. I've sweated and panted my way through various melee battles. I love bashing their heads in with pipes, axes, or planks, or really any old melee weapon I can get my hands on. For this fan art illustration, I picked a moment from the pilot episode of the TV show. The characters come upon a monstrous piece of wall art, an infected human who died against a wall and whose body was overtaken with fungus. I'll link to a short video clip of the scene below if you want to check it out. I wanted to make an illustration that features many colorful mushrooms and tendrils while also looking grim and creepy. This illustration went through a long, ugly phase where it looked too cheerful to be creepy, but I started smearing the wet paint with my finger as I put it down, and I finally started to get the feel I was hoping for.
They're coming.
I know.
Okay, let's go. You got something on your shoe.
My inspiration for making this fan art illustration was actually from last week's video where I made a skull, a human skull, and then I covered it with overlays of muscles and then the skin and then a gas mask. And so from the skull, I wanted something creepy, and that led to my husband's idea of adding the gas mask. So the two sides of this sketchbook spread developed sort of hand in hand, and I'm really thrilled with how this creepy illustration came out. I want to thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. I would love to hear in the comments if you play any video games or if you've become infected with this new menace of The Last of Us.
Okay, how do we get out of this place?
Let's find out.
You came in the room, you're like, Party time!
Yeah, but last time I was able to just sneak up on them.
Yeah, well, you didn't at all.